Welcome to your weekend focus for July the 3rd and the 4th, 2021. My name is Tilly. This is Tara with Tilly, and thank you. Thank you truly for all of the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. Love you right back. Thank you so, so much. Okay, we have the three energy. The three energy, it's all about birthing, rebirthing, creating. It's all about the seeds that we are planting going forward, the things that we want to change or transform in our lives, the things that we want to step into, the things that we want to begin. If we do the numerology of the day for Saturday, it is a 15 energy, and that is about releasing old habits and replacing them with new, or behaviors perhaps. Something that grounds us in the wrong way, like we've really grown a love for chocolate fudge. We're just having it a little bit too much as our basis of happiness and joy, where we should be expanding it in other directions, and we know that. So it's about transforming our lives, changing things in our lives. Absolutely. 1 + 5 is a 6, so it's about our routines, it's about our day-to-day living, it's about our health and well-being, it's about our relationships. Do they need to be healthier in some way? Do we have some bad habits in our relationships where we may, because we know they'll do it, we wait for them to do it, even though we could have done it, or, or we're standing our ground, even though we could do it, they better do it. Look at the energy you're bringing into relationships. Definitely under the 15 energy. And is that the kind of energy that you want to invite in your life on a daily basis, on a continuous basis? If we look at Sunday, we have the 4 energy. The 4 energy is, that's the planner. That is the strategist. We're doing our strategy. It's about building a balance, building a foundation. It's about looking at what we have already in place in our lives that gives us a sense of balance, a sense of security. If we do the numerology of the day, it's a 16. That's awakenings. Sometimes we don't like the way the awakenings happen under a 16 energy. It can be something that we would hope would go away. We move to the back burner. If we don't look at it, maybe, it will just disappear. I saw in a doctor's office, he had a little plaque one time, my 5 favorite words, maybe it will go away. Because by the time you go to the doctor, a simple pill won't cure it anymore. Now you need this to be on this therapy plan. We'll see you in 3 months and we'll take it from there. So it's things we have procrastinated on, or it could be something just completely out of the blue. I know Uranus is up there doing something in the sky this weekend, and usually when Uranus is involved, we know that things can just come out of the blue, and it may not seem like a great thing at the time. Okay, it may make you even act rashly, or you really have to stay grounded. You really have to step back from the moment. I mean, this eclipse season told us that for the next 6 months, we have to stand within our integrity. We have to think before we act, before we speak. We have to think long term, big picture. So we may be combative. We may be rebellious. We may be, give an unpredicted response, or we may be on the receiving end of that. Know that this is the energy for it. So there could be a lot of inner tension that comes out just out of seemingly nowhere. So those are those issues that we have buried deep inside of us. So that could be our awakening, coming to terms with it, looking it in the eye. So don't look away. Don't try and run from it. Try and understand why it is present over this weekend in your life. It's there to teach you something so that you can move forward, so that you can perhaps heal from something. We had Chiron very active, I think, on Thursday or Friday, so it could definitely be a healing of our warrior. where we've come out on the battlefield with our sword raised and somebody just took us right down, and our ego was hurt. We were ashamed. They laughed at us, whatever it may be that holds you back this time around, and understanding it for what it is. Somebody really needed that message out there. I felt that. But 1 plus 6 is a 7, and that's standing in our truth. So definitely throughout this weekend, if anything just seemingly comes at you out of nowhere, or you get a reaction that you weren't expecting, or you give a reaction that you go like, where did that come from? I used my outside voice, didn't I? Take it back a step. Okay, be a little bit more of the hangman energy, which is a 12 energy. Now, we didn't get to the 3 by a 12, but for some reason I'm being called to talk about the 12. So maybe because it's the monthly energy. July 2021 is a 12 energy. So that brings us to a 3. But it's pulling it back. It's being in the moment. It's thinking about the here and now, but the big picture forward. How do you need to react? How do you need to respond? Do you need to respond or act? How is that going to be taken? Is it the result I want? So don't be too spontaneous this weekend, especially when it comes to emotion. But I think it can shed some great light on some things that you've held inside that needs to come out, that you need to heal from, that you need to move past, that you need to release. So don't look away from it either. Okay, let's see what the cards have to say for us. My fingers aren't working tonight at all. Okay, look at this. 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles is, you are creating your path forward. Whether you know it or not, you are. And by not acting is a reaction. So this is a card that says roll up your sleeves, get to work. Don't look for the rewards. Don't look for the praise. Don't look for the recognition. That's not going to happen right now. But people will be watching you as you work towards a goal, a dream, a desire, a success. Something that you want to bring into your life. Remember, we have the 3 energy. That's beautiful for creative energy. To think about where we want to go. And you hold your paintbrush here. You hold your paintbrush to your tomorrow. You own that canvas. You are the narrator. What do you want in your path going forward? And making that commitment, rolling up your sleeves, and yes, knowing it's going to be a slow road and being okay with it. We have the 5 of Cups. Oh, how we look at our failures, our doubts. Those kinds of things can come in. Or somebody attacks us in some way. Our talent, our knowledge, our wisdom, our personality, our work ethic, whatever it may be. And we seem to zero right in on the negative this weekend. So try and flip it to the positive. Once again, you are the narrator. So when you hear your thoughts and you're like, oh my gosh, that's dark. Let's get it positive. Let's get it moving towards what I'm working towards, what it will be like going forward. Knowing I can leave this in the past. Knowing I'm glad I'm getting it over with now instead of in the future, when it could have been so much worse. And that's kind of emotion. I kind of felt an emptiness. So we could feel a little depleted when it comes to feeling love and feeling respect and feeling a closeness. So all the more reason to bring that to the front and center of how is my relationship going? Is there habits being formed in the relationship that are not healthy habits for a long and lasting relationship? Should we talk about this? Should I bring something into play? Should I step back from doing something or not doing something? The Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is really about bringing a balance into the picture. It's about doing something that you know is constructive, that moves you in the right path. I didn't even tell you about the sun in Cancer. Moon will enter the Taurus for the weekend. I think by the time most of us have had breakfast and we're up and ready for the day, the sun will have moved into Taurus. It's more of an earthy, grounded kind of energy, so that's wonderful that we have that kind of energy. It can be about home and finances. It can be about, home, finances, our toys, so to speak. Stop and smell the roses. It's your senses. Smell the aromas, smell the fragrances. Get the incense or the candles going or something, or go out in the garden and inhale deeply, or whatever you can do. Go and buy a bouquet of flowers and just inhale them. Or maybe get some chocolate chip cookies baking in the oven, or so, I don't know. Whatever smile will go on your face because of a smell of an aroma, then absolutely. Maybe your grandma always wore lavender, and so it's spraying the room with lavender or something. Whatever it may be. But those kinds of things, like spraying the room with lavender because grandma always smelled like lavender, kind of grounds you, kind of gives you that safety, that feeling of safety. And it does bring grandma in to protect you too. So, where was I going with all of that? Bringing in balance, I guess that's the key here. But an action towards bringing in that balance, making 15 is all about changing up behaviors and habits. So maybe we see something in us that we want to change, that we want to dissipate, that we want to move forward in a new direction. The King of Pentacles, think outside the box. And yes, we want to take some risks in life, but they have to be educated risks, especially when the King of Pentacles shows up. The King of Pentacles is also a very grounded king. So he goes well with the Taurus moon. Now, the problem with Taurus energy is sometimes we can get too rigid in our safety nets, in our, so long as I have my fudge brownie, I'm content for the day. I don't need much else. But what happens when the fudge brownie is missing? You can't rely on those kinds of things. So what do you rely on? Do you rely on your inner sense of strength? Do you rely on a higher power, God, angels, your spirit guides? Do you lean on other people? And some of these things can be extremely healthy. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying that these things, but if we are using it as a crutch, as we're using it as a diversion, if we're using it to build that happiness, that sense of happiness that will be fleeting, then we're focusing in the wrong areas. And so we need to think outside the box to what we can truly do in our lives, simple little things that we can do in our lives. Like, I was driving down the road today with my son, Nuck. He's sitting there on his phone, texting away and everything. And I said, you miss so much because you're looking at your phone. And he goes, well, what do you mean? I said, well, we just passed a ditch. And the ditch was filled with water. And here's this lab in the water, and it's up to his belly. And here's these two little toddlers. They're about 5 years old, these two little boys. And one of them had blonde hair. I'm not sure about the other one for sure, but I think they were both blondes. And they're throwing rocks into the ditch. And the dog's going underneath trying to find it. And they're all just having a blast. And so, I took that happiness. I took a little bit of that happiness and drove away with it. But, my son missed it completely. So be more aware of your surroundings, perhaps, to what is already a form of abundance and happiness and joy in your life, and build on those things. So more drives through the country is in order for me, because that brought me sheer joy. And then I had, oh my gosh, it might have been a robin because it had a red breast, but there are other birds with a red breast, and it flew right in front of my car. And I could see like the leg or something just, or maybe the tip of the wing just kind of just touched the car as I was, doing like, crazy amount of speed at one point down the road. And so I took that as a message to slow down, that it could be dangerous to go this fast. Something could pop up out of nowhere. So I don't know if I diverted an accident or not, but look at this, another ace. We have the Ace of Pentacles now. So Pentacles and Pentacles and Pentacles and Wands and Cups. No swords. So it's not really an intense thinking weekend for us. It's more of what can we do to go forward. Now, with the Ace of Ace of Pentacles. I was going to say Ace of Cups. Ace of Pentacles. Somehow you get this little reward. Something moves you forward. Something helps you find that channel to express yourself, or to step in that need for change and understanding what can change, or what kind of progress you can make. And maybe with the King of Pentacles, thinking outside the box in some unique way or some unique form that just suits you and you alone. Or you could be very clever perhaps in your problem solving, where you've been looking at something and all of a sudden you're going, hey, if I went this way, no brainer. So something can come in, and it unlocks a freedom to your self-expression, which brings in joy and abundance. So one of the things we have to remember to do here is to remain flexible, to go with the flow, that things could happen out of nowhere, and to react very rashly or quickly or spontaneously could really backfire for us and cause more drama and commotion than it needed. So, and give it more energy. So watch that. But with two aces, it's about going forward, deciding to make some changes in your life. And it's usually under the full moon. It's changes we're making in our lives, of things that we are no longer allowing in our life. We're saying, stop, no more. We're drawing the line. We're saying, that's it. I'm going forward in this direction. And it could be the most simplest of things in your life. But it will be incredibly, it forms into something incredibly magical and big down the road. It's like that little seed that you're planting today. Let's get a mantra for our weekend. Oh, these cards are flying. That was 5 or 6 cards, and they never flipped over, so I couldn't see them. So we just kept going this time around. We've got animal bond. Stand up for all animals. I'll stand up for all living creatures. Animals, humans, mammals, reptiles, insects. Let's do the whole works here, okay? By no means should we be the judge and jury on what lives and dies on this planet. So it's about a relationship with animals. And isn't that funny that I had the story about seeing the dog and then the bird, and here we are with the animals. The world needs you to stand up and have a voice for all animals on the planet. Help protect the wildlife and rescue animals when you can. Give a donation or get involved online. Volunteering your spare time to animal shelters would be greatly rewarding. This may be just the time to save a cat or dog from the shelter and give it a loving home. And the mantra is, I share my love with animals and the world. We're not all animal people. I'm an animal person. You guys know that. You know I have 2 rescue dogs. That, seriously, nobody else would have kept them. They're still bad to this day. But they try so incredibly hard to be good. It's so sweet because they just like, I can't believe I did that. Like, you can yell at them for something and like 2 minutes later they're doing it again. Or worse yet, Dylan will get something he knows he's not allowed, and when he chews it up completely, he brings it to me for a present. Little simple things like that he does. But we can all just send out a vibration, a small prayer, a small thought about the well-being of the planet, the well-being of the animals that inhabit, the well-being of the people that inhabit this planet we call Earth. And understand that we are a collective and we are all joined together in one way or another. We are all part of the cosmic energy. And so it doesn't cost anything and it doesn't hurt anything. It doesn't hurt anything if it doesn't work, right? But I do believe that when the prayers are many, the prayers are louder. When the thoughts are many, the thoughts are louder. And so we get an energy helping us, moving us in the direction we need to go. So send out a little bit of energy towards our animals, towards our world. I share my love with animals and the world. Okay, so speaking of animals, let's just see what animal visits us this weekend. Okay, and if you're ever looking for this deck, that's what the box is going to look like. Just a wonderful deck. Just a wonderful deck, so, you know. And it wouldn't be one that I would have picked for myself, but my kids picked it out for me. Oh, look at this. See the beauty around you. We were talking about that already too, weren't we? Seeing the beauty around you and within you, understanding your beauty. Where is our swan? Oh, I went too far. There we are. Partnerships. Beauty, grace, elegance, and partnership. And I've been through this book many times with you guys now over the years. And so I do not think that partnership mentioned twice is a misprint. I do believe that they are just saying, you know, partnerships, blah, blah, blah. Partnerships. Pay attention to your relationships this weekend. See where you can grow them stronger. Nip things in the bud that might be getting out of hand. Maybe it's a shared responsibility thing. Whatever it is, this is a beautiful energy in which to address it. But we don't want to be rash about it. We want to think it through. So a dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. In dreams you will lose your heartaches. Whatever you wish for, you keep. Have faith in your dreams, and someday your rainbow will come smiling through. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dreams that you wish for will come true. The swan is often associated with the transition from the ugly duckling into the beautiful swan. In this message, Swan wants you to know that you've been beautiful since the moment of your conception. Your spirit is something that people find beautiful, and Swan wants to remind you that you are loved very much. Swan tells you to look deeper within and around yourself. See the beauty all around you. It can be in simple things, like a flower blooming on the side of the road, a smile from a stranger. But beautiful does surround you. You may be doubting your love relationship, but Swan assures you that the partnership is strong. And if you're not in a relationship, this could be an indication that a long-lasting and beautiful relationship is right in the very next pond. So, start looking for the beautiful, you will see the beautiful. It's very easy to see the ugly. It's very easy to see the negative. We are trained from birth to look for these things. They catch our eye. They keep our attention. We're drawn to it in some unbelievable, uncanny way. You know, we could see people singing over there on the one side of the highway or something. We just drive by. Traffic doesn't stop. Traffic doesn't slow down. But an accident over here, everybody's got a rubberneck happening. We're drawn to the negative, so we have to yell stop. We have to retrain our brains to move towards the beauty, to move towards understanding, recognizing the beauty that surrounds us and that is within us. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.